Welcome to Firehouse Feedback, featuring guest commentary from the WFHB listening area. Firehouse Feedback is an open forum for you to speak your mind on the issues and events affecting life in South Central Indiana. Rick Dietz is the chair of the Monroe County Democratic Party. He's been active in Monroe County politics since 2000.
Not a lot in politics shocks me these days, but I've been genuinely surprised by the position of the Monroe County Republican Party and the crassly partisan approach that our local Republicans are taking towards the issue of voting this year, especially with regard to satellite voting sites and extended hours for early voting to accommodate working people. Our local Republicans seem more and more steeped in the Tea Party mentality that so damaged civil discourse in this country. Satellite voting is a form of early absentee voting that can occur at locations throughout a community during the early voting period. Satellite voting has not been a political controversy in the past, but it's clear that the Republican leadership in this community is taking a stridently partisan stand now. Satellite voting was extremely successful in 2008. For example, almost 1,000 people in Ellettsville voted in their satellite voting location at the Ellettsville Fire Station. We wanted to keep satellite voting in Ellettsville, but the Republicans shut it down. Democrats proposed 3 different options for satellite voting, including voting locations on the Ivy Tech campus, IU campus, at the Ellettsville Fire Station, in Smithville, and at the Sherwood Oaks Christian Church. We also proposed an accessibility review of the facilities. But on September 2nd, in the Herald Times, the Republican chairman Les Compton proclaimed, without any apparent shame, that the Republicans have no substantive reasons for opposing satellite voting except for crass political calculation. In addition, he vowed, and I quote, "Any future appointment to the election board from this GOP chairman will come with the assurance that they will not support satellite voting." The position expressed in Chairman Compton's letter is disheartening. I can't believe that all Republicans feel this way. But let's be honest here. This is the leadership that the local GOP is elected to represent them and to speak for them and to act on their behalf. Whether local Republican candidates support this position or not, I can't say. And frankly, I can't get a straight answer from them when I do. But I can tell you this. All Democratic Party candidates support satellite voting. All. Period. The irony is that the Republican Party chairman actually voted in the Ellettsville satellite site in 2008. Presumably, he found it more convenient and accessible to vote early in his own community. Now it's too late for satellite voting locations. But if the Republicans on the election board are going to force people to come to downtown Bloomington to vote early instead of using satellite voting sites in their own community, then they need to do better than offering bankers' hours for early voting. The voters of Monroe County deserve better. It's hard to understand not setting evening hours from the beginning. Indiana is widely recognized as having some of the most restrictive Election Day voting hours in the nation. We don't need to mirror that poor example for early voting here in Monroe County. We should set regular weekday evening hours for early voting now. Bankers' hours aren't sufficient for voting hours. It's time to cut through the Tea Party rancor and do its best for Monroe County. If we can't do that with satellite voting at the Ivy Tech campus, IU campus, in Ellettsville, in Smithville, and Sherwood Oaks Christian Church, then at least we should have regular evening hours for early voting. Early voting is available weekdays from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on 2 Saturdays, October 23rd and October 30th. But early voting should be available to working people after 4 p.m. in this county too. If you feel the same way, call the county clerk's office. Tell them. Write a letter to the editor. Talk about it with your friends and neighbors. It may or may not help the Republican Party or the Democratic Party to have satellite voting sites and extended voting hours. But we do know that it helps voters. That's what really matters.
If you would like to be a guest on Firehouse Feedback, email us for a chance to speak your mind. The address is news@wfhb.org. I'm January Jones, and you are listening to WFHB Community Radio for South Central Indiana.